Hey kids, in this video, we're going to be learning how verb tenses and ice cream can combine to make an awesome lesson. So stay tuned and find out all about verb tenses.
This is the foldable that I'm going to be using in this video. If you don't have it, you can click the link in the description box below and go grab yourself a copy, or you can just stay tuned and see what you learn. If you do have it, you're going to cut out this box around the bold black outside line. Don't cut any of the dotted lines, and definitely don't cut this line. Then you're going to cut this one out around the bold black line, just the way you did the other one, and then you're going to cut out the dotted dashed line of the title here. So you're going to end up with two big rectangles for verb tenses and definitions, and then a title piece. So go ahead and pause the video and get those cut out. All right, now we're ready to start putting together the foldable. So take the verb tenses page, and right on this black line, you're going to fold it backwards and then forwards, and then you're going to put glue just on the back of that flap. So make sure you really get the glue coating it really well so that it won't come unstuck, and then you kind of want to line it up with the edge of your paper. Now on the definitions flap, you're going to fold on that black line right under the word definitions, back and then forth, and then tuck it under the verb tenses flap, and then close the verb tenses flap to make sure that it's not in the way. And then you're going to glue down the definitions flap. So then once you've got that in there and smoothed out, you're going to grab the title, and you're going to glue the title down right at the top, and it'll remind you what verb tenses are. Then, once you've got that done, we're ready to cut the flaps apart. So go ahead and turn it sideways. It's just a little bit easier. And then you're just going to cut right on the dotted line, and then you can open that set up and then turn it the other way, and then you're going to cut on the dotted line for the definitions flaps. Okay, there's just one more thing I like to do. I like to open each flap and just outline the edges of the flap so that when it's open, I can see exactly how much space I have to write underneath it. So if you want to do that, you can take a pencil and do that really quickly. Otherwise, we're done. If you need to pause the video so that you can catch up, go ahead and do that. And when you come back, we'll get started with our lesson. Okay, now we're ready to start our lesson on verb tenses. So when we talk about verb tenses, we're talking about when an action is happening. We know that a verb is an action word, so it can either happen in the past, which means it already happened, like yesterday. It could happen in the present, which means it's happening right now, today. Or it could happen in the future, which means it's going to happen at some time later on. So it's going to happen maybe tomorrow, or it could be a long time from now. So we're going to look at each one of these in detail and see what we can learn. So when we talk about something happening in the past, it already happened. And here's our ice cream cone, and we're saying that it melted. When we flip just this first flap over, it's going to talk to us about past tense. It says when a verb is past tense, it means that the action already happened. I'm going to highlight past tense here in green. And then it says we're going to add ed to the end of a verb to make it past tense. You can add ed to the end to show that it already happened. So the verb is melt. That's the verb. That's what's happening. We're going to add ed to the end of it, and then we're going to get the word melted. Yesterday, my ice cream melted. So now it's past tense. Okay, now we are going to flip up this first flap, and we are going to write a sentence that uses the past tense verb melted. Yesterday, my ice cream melted in the sun. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little box here around the ed to show that I know that I've made that verb past tense. Now, sometimes you'll have verbs that already end in an e, like a silent e. You just can add d to the end of it. Let's look at present tense. It says it's melting. Let's flip this up and look at the definition. When a verb is present tense, it means the action is happening now. Add ing to the end of a verb to make it present tense. Here's our verb, melt. I'm going to add ing to the end of it, and I'm going to make a new word, melting. So now my ice cream is melting. It's happening right now. Okay, we're going to flip this up, and right underneath, the popsicle is melting in my hand right now. I'm going to put a box around ing to show that I know I've made that verb present tense, and it's happening right now. You can pause the video if you need to catch up. Now we're going to take a look at future tense. When something's happening in the future, it means that it's going to happen at another time. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week. It just means that it hasn't happened yet. So when a verb is future tense, it means the action will happen later. We actually add the word will before a verb to make it future tense. So we're not adding on to the end of the verb, we're just adding another word in front of it. So we're adding will before the verb melt, and then it will say will melt, which makes it future tense. All right, now we're going to write our sentence underneath the flap. If you don't hurry, your ice cream will melt. And I'm just going to draw a box around will to show that we've made it future tense. All right, I hope that you've enjoyed learning about verb tenses and how to use them in sentences. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and like. And be sure to click the links in the description box below so you can check out my other videos on parts of speech and you can see my other verb activities. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.